The tragic events of November 30th, 2013, shocked the world as beloved actor Paul Walker and his friend Roger Rhodes lost their lives in a horrific car crash. Just hours before, the two men had attended a charity event organized by Walker's Reach Out Worldwide Foundation, which aimed to help disaster-stricken areas. Leaving the event in a 25 Porsche Carrera GT, Rhodes, an experienced driver, struggled to maintain control of the car. At an incredibly high speed, the vehicle veered off course, crashing violently into a light pole and several trees. The impact caused an intense fire, destroying the car almost entirely and resulting in the tragic death of both men. The severity of the crash and the suddenness of their passing sent shockwaves through Hollywood and beyond. In addition to mourning Walker's loss as a talented actor, fans also reflected on his deep humanitarian work and the risks inherent in the high-speed lifestyle that defined his role in the Fast and Furious films. From a young age, Paul Walker's family background played a big part in shaping who he was both in his public life and his private interests. Growing up as the oldest of 5 siblings, he was raised in a household that valued hard work, competition, and performance. His father, Paul William Walker III, had once been a boxer, and his disciplined nature helped teach Paul resilience and focus. His mother, Cheryl, was a former fashion model, which gave Paul early exposure to the entertainment world and helped him find opportunities in commercial work and child acting. Outside of his immediate family, Paul's paternal grandfather loved racing and was deeply involved in the world of engines and speed. This passion for motorsports was passed down through generations, and it became a big part of Paul's life. Weekends often involved working in the garage, fixing engines, and talking about racetracks. This family heritage of athleticism, show business, and automotive passion came together to create a unique identity for Paul. It allowed him to move easily between Hollywood glamour and blue-collar authenticity. These influences shaped his personality and interests, making him someone who connected with many different kinds of people and passions. His family background was more than just a foundation. It was an integral part of his character, guiding his passions for racing and acting that he pursued throughout his life. Growing up in the sunny neighborhoods of the San Fernando Valley, Paul Walker showed a strong interest in many areas. From a young age, he was a curious and active child who loved exploring the world around him. He was very smart, especially in school, and enjoyed learning about different subjects. Science was his favorite, and he especially loved the ocean and marine life. Inspired by famous ocean explorer Jacques Cousteau, Paul often talked about how he wanted to spend his life studying the sea. This dream led him to consider college, where marine biology was his main goal. Despite his love for the ocean, his path changed when he found acting. Along with studying, he played sports like soccer and practiced jiu-jitsu, which made him disciplined and strong. During his free time, Paul spent hours outdoors, reading about animals and learning how ecosystems in the ocean work. Even as his Hollywood career grew, he never lost his childhood love for the sea. He used his fame and money to help protect nature and support scientific projects. Throughout his life, Paul kept close to the dreams he had as a boy, showing that his love for the ocean and adventure stayed with him forever. From an early age, Paul Walker was introduced to the world of acting, thanks to his mother, who recognized his natural charm and attractive appearance. When he was just 2 years old, he appeared in a Pampers commercial, which marked the start of his journey in front of the camera. This early exposure helped him learn how to behave on set, follow directions, and understand the basics of performing. As he grew older, he gained more experience through appearances in television shows and small movies. These small roles helped him sharpen his acting skills and learn how to adapt to different characters. He appeared in well-known TV shows like Highway to Heaven, where he played roles that required him to express feelings clearly, helping him develop emotional versatility. He also played a recurring character in the sitcom Throb, which introduced him to comedy and timing, essential skills for an actor. In 1986, he got a part in the horror comedy film Monster in the Closet, one of his first bigger projects in movies. While these early jobs were simple, they were very important for his growth. They gave him the experience to understand what acting required and helped him become disciplined in his craft. His progress was steady and based on many years of small steps, rather than instant fame, laying the foundation for his later success. After achieving some success in his acting career, Paul Walker made a deliberate choice to prioritize his education and stay connected to his passions outside of Hollywood. While many young actors become consumed by the fame and glamour that come with success, Paul remained humble and grounded. He believed in the importance of learning and wanted to develop himself intellectually. To do this, he attended several community colleges in Southern California, focusing on marine biology, a field he loved since childhood. His fascination with ocean life, conservation, and ecological systems was not just a passing interest. It was a serious pursuit that reflected his deep curiosity and desire to understand the natural world. Despite the busy schedule of acting, appearing on television, and working on movie sets, Paul managed to balance his studies with his career. He would study in classrooms during the week, and then go to auditions or sets afterward. This balance showed his discipline and maturity, qualities that helped him manage two demanding worlds. Even with the financial rewards of acting, Paul never gave up his academic interests. Instead, he saw education as a vital part of his life, one that kept him grounded and helped him find purpose. His dedication to learning made him more than just a movie star. It made him someone who valued knowledge and personal growth. Throughout his career, Paul often spoke about his love for science and used his platform to support environmental and educational causes, showing that his passion for helping the world extended beyond the screen. His life exemplified how someone can succeed in entertainment while remaining true to their intellectual pursuits and values. During the 1990s, Paul Walker worked steadily in television, gradually building his reputation as an actor and increasing his visibility with each role. As he moved from childhood into young adulthood, casting directors started to notice his screen presence, his attractive looks, and his ability to show different emotions convincingly. He appeared in popular TV shows like Charles in Charge, Touched by an Angel, and Who's the Boss, where he played characters that reflected the struggles and hopes of teenagers. These roles helped him develop his acting skills and made him more familiar to viewers. The most important break came when he joined the cast of the long-running daytime soap opera The Young and the Restless. His work on the soap opera made him more popular, especially among dedicated fans who watched the show closely. Critics and audiences appreciated his natural style and emotional honesty, which made his performances stand out. These recurring TV roles helped him gain a loyal following and prepared him for larger opportunities in movies. Although during this time he did not win major awards or become a tabloid star, those years were crucial for his growth as an artist. They helped him become known as a trustworthy and talented young actor who could transition smoothly from TV to Hollywood films with genuine confidence and authenticity. Since the late 1990s marked a turning point in Paul Walker's career, he transitioned from a steady television actor to a rising star in Hollywood. His first significant step into movies was with a quirky science fiction comedy called Tammy and the T-Rex. Although the film was campy and had a strange tone, it gave Paul valuable experience working on a full-length feature. In 1998, he gained widespread attention with his role in Pleasantville. In this film, he played a charming high school jock in a world where colors began to shift and change, making it an attractive and memorable movie. The film received critical praise for its inventive storytelling, helping Paul catch the eye of industry insiders. Not long after, he starred in Varsity Blues, a teen sports drama that connected strongly with young audiences. In this film, he played Lance Harbor, a talented but injured quarterback, showing both his athletic ability and his skill in delivering emotional performances within an ensemble cast. The success of Varsity Blues was followed by another hit film called She's All That, a modern high school romance that made him popular as a teen heartthrob. These movies showed that Paul was versatile, able to switch easily between fun, light roles, and more serious acting. By the early 2000s, he was no longer just a promising young actor. He had become one of Hollywood's rising stars. His career seemed ready to grow even further, especially with a franchise that would soon become a major part of his legacy. Since the year 2001, Paul Walker's career reached new heights through his role as Brian O'Connor in The Fast and the Furious. This film was not just popular at the box office, it became a cultural phenomenon that started a long-lasting franchise and introduced many viewers to the underground street racing scene. Paul's performance as O'Connor was memorable because he played the character with sincerity and realism. His natural charm and confident presence made the character feel genuine, making it easy for audiences to connect with him. Paul understood the world of cars and racing, and he brought authenticity that gave Brian depth and credibility. The film mixed exciting action with themes like loyalty, identity, and rebellion, and Paul's character was at the heart of these emotional themes. His portrayal of a police officer torn between duty and desire to be part of the racing community added a layer of complexity to the story. It showed a man facing inner conflict, making him more relatable and human. This role transformed Paul from a rising actor into a star recognized worldwide for a part that reflected his own interests and values. The film's success changed his career forever, paving the way for him to become part of one of Hollywood's most successful and enduring franchises. His role as Brian O'Connor remains a defining moment in his career and an important part of his legacy. Certainly, from the moment Paul Walker appeared in the Fast and the Furious franchise, it was evident that his chemistry with Vin Diesel was a key element that contributed to the movie's success. Their characters, Brian O'Connor and Dominic Toretto, showcased a relationship that was more than just friendship. It was a complex mix of rivalry, brotherhood, and deep mutual respect that grew stronger with each film. Off-screen, the bond between Paul and Vin reflected in their performances, bringing authenticity and emotional depth to their scenes. Their friendship allowed them to trust each other and share genuine humor and understanding, which translated onto the screen. Whether racing through busy streets, facing dangerous enemies, or standing side by side against betrayals, their dynamic created some of the most memorable moments in action movie history. Paul's calm, steady presence balanced Vin's strong, commanding aura, forming a partnership that felt real to fans. Over time, their relationship grew more meaningful, showing genuine affection and admiration. This closeness was clear in interviews and behind-the-scenes videos, where they appeared to be more than just actors working together. As the series continued, their connection became the emotional foundation that kept fans engaged, adding layers of loyalty, family, and redemption to the fast-paced storylines. The special bond between Paul Walker and Vin Diesel not only influenced the tone and direction of the franchise, but also made their partnership one of the most loved in action cinema. Their chemistry remains a lasting testament to the power of friendship and trust in creating compelling storytelling. While many actors can pretend to be passionate about cars, Paul Walker's love for vehicles was genuine and deep, and this made his performances stand out. From a young age, long before he starred in the Fast and the Furious movies, he was already interested in cars and speed. His passion was not just a hobby, it was part of who he was at his core. He spent time building and fixing his own cars, often attending car shows to see the latest models and meet other enthusiasts. His collection included exotic cars from Europe as well as vintage and custom-built race cars, which he kept with care and pride. Paul knew a lot about how cars worked, and he could talk about torque, horsepower, and engine modifications with expertise that showed his real knowledge. He didn't just collect cars for show, he actively raced in events and was involved in the racing community. He even co-owned a performance shop called Always Evolving, where he applied his technical skills and passion to a business. His off-screen love of cars made his on-screen character, Brian O'Connor, feel authentic and real. Fans saw that when Paul was behind the wheel, he wasn't just acting, he was living his passion. This genuine enthusiasm made his performances more convincing and helped shape his lasting legacy, blending his personal interests with his acting perfectly. Because of his consistent appearance in multiple sequels, Paul Walker became the heart of the Fast and Furious franchise. His character, Brian O'Connor, was more than just an undercover cop. He was a symbol of loyalty, family, and redemption. Over the years, as the series expanded from simple street racing to international heists and espionage, Paul's role helped keep the story grounded. In Fast, Too Fast and Furious, his character began to show more of his personal side, and by the time of Fast and Furious, he was fully committed to his friends and family. In Fast 5, Paul Walker's performance was even more important as the franchise took a new turn toward globe-trotting adventures, yet his character's honest, earnest personality kept the series real for fans. His portrayal grew more heartfelt and mature, showing his evolution from a reckless rogue to a loyal family member. Off-screen, Paul was known for being humble and kind, always involved in charitable work, which made his death in 2013 even more heartbreaking. In the seventh film, the franchise dedicated a touching farewell scene to him, which touched fans worldwide and made clear how much he meant to the series and its fans. His role was more than just performances and stunts. It was about the emotions he brought to the screen and the values he represented. Today, Paul Walker's legacy continues through his films, his humanitarian efforts, and the lasting impression he made on fans who saw him as a true symbol of friendship, passion, and authenticity. While Paul Walker is best known for his role in the Fast and Furious franchise, He made a real effort to explore many different types of movies that would challenge him as an actor and show his emotional range. He wanted to go beyond just being a fast car guy and try out roles in other genres. For example, in the movie Joyride made in 2001, he played Lewis Thomas, a college student who gets caught in a frightening game of cat and mouse with a vengeful truck driver. This film showed that he could show fear and vulnerability convincingly, and he could stay calm and brave even in terrifying situations. It also proved he could act outside the typical street racing image. In 2005, in the film Into the Blue, Walker played a treasure hunter exploring the beautiful but dangerous waters of the Bahamas, tapping into his love of the ocean. His athletic abilities and natural charm made his role believable and interesting to watch. One of his most intense roles was in Running Scared in 26, where he played a desperate father caught in the middle of crime and corruption. This gritty movie allowed him to show a more emotional and morally complicated side, very different from the hero he often played in action films. These roles showed how versatile and dedicated he was to acting. Instead of staying in one type of film, Paul Walker kept trying new roles and proving he could deliver powerful performances in many different kinds of stories. Despite his fame and success, Paul Walker's life was deeply rooted in his role as a father. Behind his red carpet appearances and celebrity status, he was a kind and caring person who cherished his daughter above all. In the late 1990s, he was in a relationship with Rebecca McBrain, a former schoolteacher. Together, they welcomed a daughter named Meadow Rain Walker in 1998. Although Paul and Rebecca's romantic relationship did not last, they remained committed to raising Meadow in a supportive and stable environment. He was always dedicated to her well-being and made sure she felt loved and secure. As Meadow grew older, Paul worked hard to be present in her life, even when his film work took him around the world. He believed that being a good father was the most important thing he could do, and he often spoke about her as the greatest joy in his life. Even when he was far away, he stayed in touch with her regularly, making sure she never felt forgotten or less important than his career. Friends and colleagues remember how he loved to talk about Meadow and how his face lit up when he discussed her. In interviews, Paul humbly said that fatherhood was his proudest achievement, more meaningful than any role he played on screen. His gentle approach to parenting showed his kind and grounded nature, and his desire to give Meadow a life filled with love, protection, and authenticity left a lasting mark that extended beyond his Hollywood fame. Immediately, it is clear that Paul Walker valued his privacy when it came to his romantic life, choosing not to speak openly about his relationships. Nevertheless, those close to him understood that love, loyalty, and emotional connection were at the core of his values. Among his more well-known relationships was a long-term romance with model and actress Bliss Ellis. Although this relationship did not often appear in the media or the spotlight, it was meaningful and lasted several years, showing Paul's desire for stability and companionship. Those who knew them described their bond as affectionate, respectful, and based on shared values rather than fame or superficial reasons. Furthermore, Paul's approach to love reflected his personality, humble, kind, and oriented toward family. He was not interested in chasing attention or living a lifestyle focused on tabloids or celebrity drama. Instead, he preferred engaging in meaningful conversations, spending time outdoors, and maintaining close relationships with friends and loved ones. His demeanor with women was gentle and sincere, characterized by a natural charm that did not rely on his fame. Even with worldwide recognition, Paul remained down to earth and unpretentious, often choosing quiet moments far from Hollywood to be with those he cared about. His relationships were a reflection of his belief in living genuinely, respecting others, and valuing personal connections above all else. This sense of authenticity and dignity marked his approach to love and life, creating a legacy of heartfelt sincerity. Paul Walker was not just a celebrated actor. His most cherished role in life was that of a father. His relationship with his daughter, Meadow, was profound and deeply meaningful. Despite his busy career, he made it clear that being a father was his top priority. He often shared how important Meadow was to him, adjusting his work schedule to spend as much time with her as possible. When Meadow moved to California to live with him full-time, their bond grew even stronger. They shared many beautiful moments together, from beach outings to quiet evenings at home, and Paul made sure to create a nurturing environment for their relationship to flourish. Their connection was rooted in trust, affection, and a genuine love that transcended the pressures of his fame. Friends and colleagues admired how he balanced his career with his personal life, always putting Meadow's happiness and well-being first. After Paul's untimely passing, those who knew him best remembered him not for his roles on the big screen, but as a devoted father who was deeply invested in Meadows' life. His legacy lives on through the lessons he imparted and the love he gave, showing how family remained his greatest priority. Following the tragic crash that resulted in the deaths of Paul Walker and Roger Rodas on November 30, 2013, an extensive investigation was carried out to determine the cause of the devastating incident. Law enforcement agencies, along with automotive experts, meticulously analyzed the available evidence, including vehicle data and environmental conditions. The investigation revealed that the Porsche Carrera GT was traveling at an estimated speed between 80 and 93 miles per hour in an area where the speed limit was just 45 miles per hour. This excessive speed, more than double the legal limit, greatly diminished the driver's ability to respond to road conditions and obstacles, which likely played a significant role in the crash. Another critical finding from the investigation was the condition of the car's tires, which were found to be more than 9 years old. Even though the tires appeared to be in good condition, aging tires are prone to a loss of traction and structural integrity, particularly under high-performance driving conditions. This issue, combined with the high speed of the vehicle, made it extremely difficult for Rodas to regain control of the car. The Porsche collided with a concrete light pole and several trees with such tremendous force that it split the car almost in half. A fire quickly engulfed the wreckage, adding to the severity of the tragedy. The investigation concluded that the combination of excessive speed, deteriorating tire quality, and the unforgiving road conditions were the main factors that led to the crash. This conclusion left the world mourning the loss of 2 lives, and sparked widespread discussions on the importance of sports car safety and the impact of tire maintenance. The autopsy results for Paul Walker painted a grim and heartbreaking picture of the immense violence of the crash. Medical examiners determined that Paul died from a combination of traumatic and thermal injuries. This meant that while the blunt force trauma from the collision caused significant physical damage, including multiple fractures in his ribs, jaw, and limbs, it was the subsequent fire that inflicted severe burns across much of his body. The intensity of the blaze was such that it rendered visual identification impossible. As a result, investigators had to rely on dental records to formally confirm his identity. The medical report noted that Paul had been seated in the passenger side of the Porsche and was still alive immediately after impact, although likely unconscious due to the trauma. Tragically, the fire engulfed the vehicle within seconds, making escape impossible. The nature of these injuries, especially the extent of the burns, amplified the sense of tragedy surrounding his death, and left many grappling with the cruel and violent nature of how such a beloved figure had perished. The autopsy also confirmed that there were no drugs or alcohol in Paul's system at the time, reaffirming that the crash was not the result of impaired judgment, but a confluence of mechanical and human factors in a split-second moment. After the tragic death of Paul Walker, many questions and theories arose about what caused the fatal accident that took his life. Rumors quickly spread, suggesting that Paul Walker and his friend Roger Rodas might have been involved in an illegal street race at the time of the crash. Given their known passion for high-speed driving and the crash occurring near an industrial area, people found this theory plausible. Others wondered if mechanical problems had played a role, considering the Porsche Carrera GT was a high-performance car that could be unpredictable if the mechanics failed. Some suspected brake failure or steering trouble might have led to the accident. However, thorough investigations by local authorities and independent automotive experts ruled out these ideas. Tire marks, surveillance footage, and witness statements all supported the conclusion that only one vehicle was involved, and no evidence of racing activity was found. The examination of the wreckage by Porsche engineers confirmed that no mechanical faults existed, such as brake failure or steering issues, which might have caused the crash. The official report determined that excessive speed for the road conditions, combined with aging tires and loss of traction, was the primary cause of the accident. This conclusion was based on physical evidence and scientific analysis, providing a clear explanation despite the difficulty for fans and loved ones to accept. By ruling out outside influences, racing, or mechanical failures, authorities brought some clarity to a heartbreaking event, offering a sense of understanding and closure. After the tragic death of Paul Walker, his family and others affected by the crash took legal action against Porsche, the maker of the car involved. They claimed that the Porsche Carrera GT had design flaws that made it unsafe in real-world driving. The lawsuits argued that the car did not have safety features that could have prevented the fatalities. For example, the families pointed out that the car lacked a crash cage, which could help protect occupants in a high-impact crash. They also said the doors were not reinforced enough to withstand side impacts, and the seat belts were positioned poorly, which might have trapped the people inside the car. These issues were especially important because the Carrera GT was marketed as a street-legal sports car. But in reality, it was capable of very high speeds and behaved more like a race car. This made it difficult for normal drivers to handle safely. Meadow Walker, Paul Walker's daughter, was especially known because her case received a lot of attention. Her lawsuit brought up questions about whether car manufacturers should be responsible for designing cars that are both fast and safe. Porsche responded to these accusations by denying that the car had any defects. They claimed the accident happened because of reckless driving and poor maintenance, not because of the car's design. After many years of legal battles, Meadow Walker and Porsche reached a private settlement, but the details of the agreement were not made public. These lawsuits sparked ongoing discussion in the auto industry about the need to make high-performance cars safer for everyday use. The case also highlighted the human impact behind luxury and speed, adding a serious note to Paul Walker's legacy and reminding everyone that safety should be a priority in vehicle design. Because of the high-profile lawsuits filed by the families of Paul Walker and Roger Rodas, Porsche took a firm stance in defending the design and manufacturing of the Carrera GT. The company explained that the vehicle met all safety standards it had to follow for vehicles considered street-legal supercars inspired by racing cars. They made it clear that the Carrera GT was never made for casual drivers or those without experience in driving fast, powerful cars. Instead, Porsche emphasized that it was built for people who understand high-performance vehicles and accept the risks that come with them. According to their legal documents, Porsche stated that some owners or users might have misused or changed the car from how it was originally made in the factory. Such alterations could have weakened the safety features of the car. The company also argued that the tragic accident involving Paul Walker and Roger Rodas was caused by excessive speed and reckless driving, not by any flaw in the car's design. Porsche pointed out that both Walker and Rodas were experienced drivers who knew the dangers of driving a car like the Carrera GT at high speeds. While the company expressed sadness over the loss, their defense centered on the idea that drivers are responsible for how they use the car. They believe that no car, no matter how well designed, can prevent accidents when drivers push beyond safe limits. This stance created many debates among car experts, lawyers, and the public. The issues raised involved questions about who should be responsible when accidents happen, what manufacturers owe to their customers, and how to balance the thrill of high-performance cars with safety concerns. Despite Porsche's strong defense, Meadow Walker's lawsuit against the car manufacturer continued to gain momentum and eventually reached a confidential settlement in 2017. Although the details of the agreement were never made public, the case drew significant public attention to the safety issues surrounding supercars and the risks involved in high-speed driving. The legal proceedings kept Paul Walker's memory alive in the minds of many, not just as a talented actor, but also as a father seeking justice for his daughter's loss. Meadow's efforts went beyond monetary compensation. Her lawsuit became a symbol of broader concerns about vehicle safety, crash survivability, and the responsibilities that automakers have toward their customers. It sparked conversations in the automotive and legal communities about whether car manufacturers were doing enough to protect drivers in high-performance cars, many of which are designed for both everyday use and racing. The case also underscored the emotional pain of losing a loved one in a tragic accident that was so publicly visible, showing how survivors often have to fight hard in court to find peace. Beyond the courtroom, Meadow Walker's pursuit of justice helped honor her father's legacy and pushed automakers to rethink how they communicate the dangers and limitations of their most powerful vehicles. The lawsuit and its resolution emphasized the importance of safety measures and dealer responsibility, leading to ongoing discussions about vehicle design and consumer protection in the high-performance car industry. After the death of Paul Walker in late 2013, the entire Hollywood community was deeply shocked and saddened by the tragic news. He was well loved not only as an actor, but also as a person who touched many lives with his kindness and positive attitude. His sudden departure brought the filming of Furious 7 to an unexpected stop. The cast and crew, who had worked closely with Paul and considered him a part of their family, found it difficult to carry on without him. They faced a tough challenge: how to finish the movie while respecting Paul's memory and keeping his character alive on screen. Universal Pictures decided to pause filming for several months, giving everyone time to mourn and figure out how to pay tribute to him properly. It was clear that they wanted the audience to remember Paul as he was, which made the process even more delicate. To complete the film, the production used a mix of stand-ins, digital effects, and old footage. Two of Paul's brothers, Caleb and Cody Walker, volunteered to stand in for him during the remaining scenes. Their familiarity and resemblance helped, although it was not just about appearance. It was also about capturing the emotional essence Paul brought to his role. Advanced computer-generated imagery was used to create a realistic image of Paul's face and expressions, making it seem as if he was still there in the scenes. These effects merged seamlessly with the footage already shot, creating a sense of continuity and sincerity. The filmmakers took great care to ensure that every scene reflected Paul's spirit and contribution, respecting his legacy as a talented actor and beloved person. The final result became a heartfelt tribute, a testament to his impact, and a way to say farewell that combined technology with emotion. This tribute to Paul Walker in Furious 7 remains a powerful and moving remembrance of a man who left an unforgettable mark on the world. After years of entertaining audiences with high-speed chases and thrilling action scenes, Paul Walker became more than just a Hollywood actor. He was known for his friendly nature and love for philanthropy. Walker's role as Brian O'Connor in the Fast and Furious franchise made him a beloved figure worldwide. His character was a police officer turned street racer, and through the films, viewers watched Brian grow from a rule breaker to a responsible family man. Sadly, Paul Walker's life was cut short when he died in a tragic car accident in 2013. His sudden passing shocked fans, friends, and the film industry. In the final moments of Furious 7, the filmmakers created a special scene to honor him. Many describe it as one of the most emotional scenes in movie history. In this scene, Brian and Dom Toretto drive together, side by side, in a quiet, beautiful shot. As they approach a crossroads, both literally and symbolically, the music swells with the song "See You Again." In a warm and gentle gesture, Brian smiles at Dom before driving off alone into the bright, sunlit horizon. This scene was simple, yet powerful, symbolizing both the end of Brian's story and a tribute to Paul Walker himself. It touched people's hearts because it was more than just a goodbye to a fictional character. It was a heartfelt farewell to a real person loved by millions. The sequence captured feelings of loss, friendship, and remembrance that resonated deeply with viewers around the world. It reminded fans of Paul's kindness, his generosity, and the lasting impact he made before his passing. This moment continues to be remembered for its beauty and emotional depth, standing as a symbol of love and legacy. It conveyed that, although Paul Walker is no longer with us, his spirit and memory live on through the characters he brought to life, and the hearts of those who admired him. The scene showed that sometimes words are not needed when the feelings are so strong, and it left a lasting impression on all who watched. Its influence extends beyond movies, inspiring fans to honor his memory and to remember the genuine person behind the fame. Although his life was brief, the love and respect he earned remain forever, cemented in this final farewell that continues to touch many for years to come. Following the sudden death of Paul Walker, a wave of love and respect spread all over the world. Fans showed how much they cared through many acts of remembrance. In many cities, people gathered for vigils and memorials that often centered around car meets. These gatherings honored Paul's well-known love of cars and street racing, which he helped bring into the spotlight. Thousands of car lovers organized tribute drives, where they revved engines, lit candles, laid flowers, and paid respects through synchronized displays. The internet was filled with heartfelt messages, tribute videos, fan-made montages, and photos that shared memories of Paul. Social media became a place where fans posted quotes, stories, and images in his memory. Beyond these small gatherings, larger events were held, including charity fundraisers that reflected Paul's own values. He was known for his efforts in disaster relief and protecting the environment. Even National Geographic created a special episode about his humanitarian work, showing his behind-the-scenes efforts to help others. These tributes showed that Paul Walker's influence went far beyond his acting. People saw in him someone who was humble despite his fame, kind with his time, and dedicated to making a positive difference in the world. The scale and sincerity of these acts of remembrance reflected how much he was loved not just as an actor, but as a person. In 2015, Meadow Rain Walker established the Paul Walker Foundation to honor her father's legacy of compassion and curiosity. This foundation was designed not only as a tribute, but also as a living extension of Paul Walker's passions, especially his dedication to marine biology, nature conservation, and youth development. Meadow, having shared a strong bond with her father, sought to continue his spirit of giving and exploration through the Foundation's work. A core mission of the Foundation is to support ocean research and fund educational programs aimed at nurturing aspiring scientists. Paul's profound concern for the health of the planet is reflected in the Foundation's efforts to promote conservation initiatives and environmental awareness campaigns. The Foundation also provides scholarships and environmental grants, empowering young people to become active stewards of the natural world. The organization regularly partners with other nonprofits, scientists, and community leaders to extend its impact globally. Beyond environmental advocacy, the Paul Walker Foundation also upholds humanitarian causes, staying true to Paul's ethos of helping others without seeking recognition. Under Meadow's leadership, the Foundation has become a symbol of hope, demonstrating that Paul's beliefs and dreams live on, continuing to inspire change and make a lasting impact on the world. After witnessing the destruction caused by the 2010 earthquake in Haiti, Paul Walker decided to take action in a way that truly reflected his caring nature. Rather than just sending money or making public statements, he personally traveled to Haiti with a small team of paramedics, doctors, and disaster response experts. This trip opened his eyes to the harsh reality faced by those affected by disasters. He saw firsthand how vital quick, skilled help could be for people suffering from injuries, loss of loved ones, and devastation. This experience inspired him to create Reach Out Worldwide, known as ROW, a non-profit organization dedicated to providing rapid aid in disaster zones around the world. Paul believed that helping others should go beyond simple gestures. It should involve active participation. He immersed himself in the planning and logistics of missions, often leading the efforts himself. ROWW became famous for its quick response, efficiency, and genuine compassion. The organization operated under the principle that those with skills and resources had a moral duty to help others in need. For Paul, ROWW was more than just charity work. It was a calling. It embodied his belief that true happiness and fulfillment came from helping others during their most difficult times. Even after Paul Walker's death, ROWW has continued to respond to emergencies, maintaining his legacy of kindness and active service. It remains a testament to his humanitarian spirit and dedication to making a difference in the world. After losing himself in the world of movies and fast cars, Paul Walker found a deeper calling through disaster relief work. He didn't just support these efforts from a distance. He was often on the front lines, physically present in places hit hardest by natural disasters around the world. When he founded Reach Out Worldwide, he made a commitment to actively participate in aid missions, showing a genuine concern for others in times of crisis. In 2011, after tornadoes tore through Alabama, Paul and the ROW team arrived with supplies and medical help. They assisted communities overwhelmed by destruction, offering not just materials but comfort and hope. The following year, when Hurricane Sandy caused widespread devastation along the U.S. East Coast, Paul mobilized again, helping to remove debris, distribute food, and bring relief to families who had lost everything. Then in 2013, before his tragic death, he led efforts to respond to Typhoon Haiyan in the Philippines, one of the most powerful storms ever recorded. His team worked hard to organize volunteers and supplies in areas where infrastructure was destroyed and medical aid was desperately needed. Importantly, Paul rarely sought attention for his efforts. He believed in helping for the sake of helping. During these missions, he was known for working quietly, lifting heavy loads, speaking softly with survivors, and motivating others to give their time and energy. His actions reflected a man who cared deeply and believed that true goodness was shown through service. His work in disaster relief remains one of the most admired parts of his life story. Since his sudden passing in 2013, many remember Paul Walker not only as a talented actor, but also as a man with a big heart. His final public appearance took place during a charity fundraiser that has become deeply meaningful. The event was organized by Reach Out Worldwide, the organization Paul Walker founded to help disaster victims. This organization was very close to his heart, and he dedicated much of his life to helping others through it. The fundraiser aimed to raise awareness and gather funds for the victims of Typhoon Haiyan, which had caused great destruction in the Philippines. The event was held on November 30th, 2013, in Santa Clarita. It was a lively gathering filled with friends, supporters, and car enthusiasts. Rows of high-performance cars lined the venue, showing his love for cars and speed. Paul was actively involved the entire time, talking with fans, helping with event organization, and expressing his excitement about the important cause. His presence added warmth and purpose to the lively atmosphere. Surrounded by people who shared his passion and compassion, he seemed happiest doing what he loved while helping others. His engagement in the event reflected his true nature, someone who cared deeply about making a difference. Sadly, he died just hours after this memorable day, making the fundraiser a powerful symbol of his life. It highlighted his two greatest passions, the adrenaline of racing and the compassion to serve those in need. His final act shows a man who lived with purpose and kindness. His legacy continues to inspire many to combine their passions with helping others. The fundraiser remains a heartfelt tribute to his spirit and dedication. Following his sudden death, the loss of Paul Walker created a deep sense of sadness, not only in Hollywood but also among millions of fans worldwide who admired his warmth, humility, and his fearless dedication to helping others. Even though he is no longer with us, his influence continues to spread in powerful and meaningful ways. His legacy is built not just on his famous film roles like Racing in the Fast and Furious series, dramatic performances, and oceanic adventures, but also on how he impacted lives outside of movies. He redefined what it means to be a modern celebrity by using his fame as a tool to serve others. Paul often helped with disaster relief efforts, stood for ocean conservation, and mentored aspiring young talents. His acts of kindness showed a spirit of giving that extended far beyond the movie set, and inspired many to follow in his footsteps. The charitable organizations he founded, including the Paul Walker Foundation and Reach Out Worldwide, continue to operate and carry forward his mission to support causes close to his heart. His death was a harsh reminder of how fragile life can be, but his lasting impact proves that living with purpose, empathy, and true authenticity leaves a mark that time cannot erase. Even today, the values he stood for are celebrated and carried on by those who benefited from his generosity and genuine care. His legacy of giving remains a shining example that a life dedicated to helping others can inspire generations to come. Building upon the shocking details revealed in Paul Walker's autopsy report, it becomes clear that the tragedy was far more complex than initially known. The report uncovered disturbing facts about the crash that raised questions about safety and human vulnerability. For example, it was revealed that the car was traveling at an incredibly high speed, well beyond legal limits, which directly contributed to the severity of the crash. Additionally, tests showed that the vehicle's brakes were not functioning properly, possibly due to mechanical failure or lack of proper maintenance. This detail emphasizes how crucial vehicle safety plays a role in high-speed events, especially for sports cars designed for performance. The autopsy also exposed that Paul Walker had alcohol in his system, which may have impaired his reactions during the final moments. Meanwhile, the fire from the crash was nearly impossible to control completely, but investigators found that the car's design and the high impact made escape nearly impossible. These discoveries highlight the risks that come with speed and reckless driving, no matter how experienced the driver is. They serve as a somber reminder of how quickly life can change and the importance of safety precautions. As fans and the public process this tragic event, they are reminded of the fragile nature of life and the devastating consequences that can follow from a moment of poor judgment.